So yeah, what's not to love about a big ugly fish dude? Especially when it's a big ugly fish dude who goes on clearance. That's right. This is from the Aquaman movie. And he was down to 20 bucks. I said, 20 bucks for a big ass monster? Yeah. And so I grabbed him, and he's now mine. And I'm going to use him along with the Savage Crucible Piranhoids and the Lord of the Deep and all that. I just thought he was a good addition. He just fit in the background. It might have been Articulated Ninja who brought this guy up to me. From way back when, and like I had forgotten about him. And I was just scrolling through the clearance section and went, oh, now that guy. Yes, I'll grab him. Because beyond, you know, getting new figures, nothing beats getting new figures cheap. And I don't think you can go much cheaper than that. You probably could, but you probably don't want to. Just a nice big ugly creature. What more could you ask for? Now, I will say these elbow joints are fused. Definitely going to need to use some heat on that and hopefully get that loose. But really, I mean, that's not a bad stance anyway, so, you know, I'm not really freaked out about it. But yeah, I've tried and tried without He-manning it. I would have to He-man it, and it probably will snap something. So yeah, I'm going to try some heat, see if that loosens it up a little. And then hopefully I'll be able to move him around a little more. But as he is, he's fine too. I don't care. You know, I just wanted him for that background, and he's got nice big fins all over the place. Wish he could look up so he could swim, but oh well. And don't ask me what in the hell hoof feet are doing on a freaking aquatic creature. That's weird, but we'll let it go for now, because the overall presentation works. Okay. I might be done with Macfarline stuff. I don't know. We'll find out. So here we go. Adam Smasher, Specter. Now, of course, you get cards. And stands, which look ridiculous on these big guys, and kind of look ridiculous on the little guys too. Man. Now, I'm really glad I got this on sale, because if I hadn't, I would have felt cheaped out, because that's all you get. No swappable hands or anything. I don't know, I mean, that almost makes it feel like we're getting spoiled with Marvel Legends, and that's pretty freaking pathetic. Okay. So the main reason, the main attraction was Specter, of course. I like Specter. Specter was really high on my list. Adam Smasher was not, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. And of course he comes with a cloth cape. Let's see how robust of a wire we got. Nice. This is one of the better ones I've seen Todd do. It's like, yeah, it's not, you know, because like the Dark Side one, it was like, it just wouldn't hold. This one's pretty much holding anywhere I want it to go. That's awesome. That's cool. And if anybody deserves that, it is the Specter. So Adam Smasher, like I said, not a guy high on my list, but you know, if you're going to include him, why the hell not? I did not pay full price for this. I refuse to pay full price for something like this, because I already feel a little cheaped out. I waited for it to hit clearance, and I'm glad I did. You know, because, let's face it, some of this stuff ain't worth what they're doing. And I know I've already talked about tariffs previously, for me yesterday, for you probably a couple of weeks from now. But, you know, one big thing I'm noticing, and I'm just saying, I'm not seeing prices come down, and I don't just mean the big guys. Although, really, with Hasbro, it's egregious. With Mattel, I would say it's less egregious, but it's there. With Macfarline, he went nuts this past year with prices. He did. He went completely insane. And so I don't pay him much mind until I saw this set and saw the price had dropped. And I was like, okay, I'll dig for this. But it's pretty rare that I buy any Macfarlane. I don't plan to buy any more. Like I said, Specter, he can get away with being a little taller than the average character. And of course, I have Smasher as a giant, so here you are. Wish Hasbro would do a giant man like him. Right about, just like that. Just do giant man like that. That would be great. They'd probably charge us $150 though. Because, you know, it's Hasbro. But I'm really looking forward to the to see what Mattel does with these. I think they're going to be okay. You know, we saw the kitty stuff, and the kitty stuff looks great for kitty stuff. I mean, it looks good for adult stuff. It's not terrible. It's you know. So yeah, DC might have a bright future, but I got a feeling if they did add Smasher, he probably would cost a pretty penny. So, you know, get this one on clearance. I'm covered. If I want to put an Atom Smasher somewhere, and I don't know, maybe they'll do the Justice Society. That would be kind of funky, but you know what? I've seen weirder shit done. So I really don't have much to say about these, except I do really like the cape. I like the sheen on the cape. That's pretty cool. Shame it couldn't be on both sides, but yeah. You know, Todd had to cut a corner somewhere, and you know, besides extra hands, and that's probably where he cut it. Okay, Spawn was not gonna get this, but well, okay, long story a bit, but we had to go to Williamson, West Virginia. And that's not gonna dox me too much. That's 15 minutes away from me. Thing was, my daughter had a thing pop up on her back of her neck. Doctor was a little concerned, wanted a dermatologist to look at it. They looked at it, it's nothing, but we went down there about 5 weeks ago, I think. Had it removed. We had to do the follow-up today of this recording. And when I went down there before, we stopped at the Walmart, and this was there. And I said, I kind of do, but, you know, it's a $50 figure. That put a strain on me. After a little bit, you know, today, I had paid off all my cards, including my Walmart card, and I just decided, well, if it's there, I'm going to get it. And it was there. Now, it was a bad trip. Last time we went to Williamson, it's an old mining town. It's one of those towns that, you know, you can tell had a lot of prosperity at one time, and now it's not. Somehow the dermatologist is in downtown to figure this out. Anyway, we went down there the first time, ate at this place. It was a nice place, but, you know, they made you wait forever. You know, the service was slow. So this time my wife said, well, let's go somewhere else. And we looked on Google Maps, found the place. And, you know, about an hour before the appointment, and it was close to where we were, went looking for it. And as near as I can tell, the place is shut down and a law office moved in. So then we were kind of in a rush. We went to Taco Bell. They got our order wrong. I asked for regular tacos. They gave me Supreme. I hate sour cream, but I was hungry, so I ate it, and I was very disappointed. And then we went to Walmart, and then this guy was there, and I said, fuck it, I'm going to get him. So I got him, and now I regret paying $50, but why not? Okay, so Spawn, I was a mild fan at the beginning. When Image first started, I did grab all the first issues of Image Comics. The one that stuck with me was Spawn, Savage Dragon, and Shadowhawk. I don't think I'm going to get the Savage Dragon or Shadowhawk. Almost said Shadow Dragon and Savage Hawk. I don't think I'm getting either one of those, because those don't have that same appeal to me. But this is alright. You know, it was one of the first Image Comics ever published, and you know, I think I still have those. I should probably sell them. Sell them now while the getting's good, right? But anyway, looks like he comes with a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna bust him open and then we'll see what we got. Okay, there he is out of the package. I still argue this design is ripping off a Prowler, just recolored. I've said that from day one. The concept, of course, is completely different, so you know, you can't really knock that. But yeah, that face has always felt like the Prowler to me, especially when you look at Todd's Prowler. You know, he does have the alternate Simmons head, the spike with the paddle. I don't know. He's got these chains. Now, one thing I did notice: these chains can move around in here, and there's nothing stopping them from slipping on out. I anticipate people who collect this might lose a couple of these very easily. These plug into his back. Of course, he has this hand, and of course, the asymmetry allows you to find out which, you can see which hand it is very easily by the spikes. Actually, I always like the asymmetrical design. A trigger finger, and casty hand, and energy effect. A card, yeah, Todd, okay, and yeah, you know this. Okay, so I've probably bought more Macfarlanes in the past month than I have ever. A lot of it's just DC guys who can be larger or something like this, and you know, I'm still not a huge fan of Macfarlane. Well, I will be honest. He gave us a good stand with this. But of course, you know, the figure barely stands on the stand. He's still using pins, as you can see. Yeah, at least on the arm he painted the pin. I don't know if you can see that or not. But, you know, generally speaking, he does not. And, you know, I don't understand why Todd still uses pins. I really don't. Because, remember, everything I've read, pinless is actually cheaper than pins. So, yeah. Of course, he falls down. Obviously, this figure has some issues with staying. I notice his ankle is very, very loose. Both of them are. And there's only one peg in the stand, so he could very easily fall. That's an issue. You know, I mean, this is not a $50 figure. I'm just going to say it right now. This is about a $30 figure. You could take out the spiked board and the cards and say get it down to 30. The wire cape is cool, but you know, it's not really that cool because, you know, Todd's very shit. Okay, you see how that's falling down, man. Do a better stand too. But you know, as you can see, you can't really make the cape do much because it's too heavy. The wire is nice. Okay, that's the best I've ever been able to make it do. The wire is nice. It's just the fabric's too heavy, and it just that's what happens. I have the same problem with Darth Vader from Black. So you know that happens with wire capes. You know, some are hits, some are misses, and not quite there. You can do some things with it though. It's not impossible to work with. So there's that. Now, do I love font? No. I think I stuck with the first 20 or so issues, I'm gonna guess, and I think I still have those, and I have not picked them up in years. I do know, I felt like in the teens, Todd was living up to that. If you throw comic pages in there and rearrange them, they'll still make sense adage, which is not true, but that's what I felt like, was like he was just going to do it to prove the point, and a lot of stuff didn't make sense, and that's, I got a little tired of that after a while. That's not to say that, you know, the concept isn't great. I remember when the movie came out, I felt like there was more went on in the movie than ever went on in the comic. And somebody who was reading the comic at the time said, yeah, you're right. And I was like, oh, wow. That's interesting. And I've not followed the comic in decades. I don't know what's going on in the Spawn comics at this point. But you know what? Part of me does not really care. Because, you know, this is a nostalgia grab. I mean, it is. And, you know, I am trying to figure out how Hellboy fits into this. Because apparently Hellboy is going to be one of these, and he's not Mike Mignola was not an Image founder. Yeah, I'm confused. I'll get that one too. But, you know, past that, Image was the truest form of flash in the pan. And I think it's kind of funny that people are kind of going back to the flash in the pan without remembering how it went. I mean, books would come out late. The stories were... sometimes they were good, and sometimes it was just like, what? I'll never remember Deathmate and how bad the Image versions were. I mean, the Image versions were just horrible. And, you know, the Valiant ones, like they were trying to tell a real story, and then the Image ones just did not connect. And it was just like, yeah, let me barf up a lot of 90s shit, you know? And that was the best they could do. It was the crossover that I think killed Valiant and I think damaged Image. Image books were way late. Way late. They couldn't conclude the story for months. You know? I mean, that had a big impact on comics, whether you want to admit it or not. And a lot of people forget about Valiant because they were so small. But yeah, this, I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it. I will say it's not worth $50. I will say it's not terrible. It's not a bad thing to have in your collection. You know. And I'm sure a lot of people are. And I'm sure a lot of people I'm falling for this nostalgia bait too. I'm really hoping for a lull in toys in a bit, because I know a lot of people are going nuts over the new Macfarline pre-orders that came out in the past couple of days, especially Lobo and the Mongol Black Suit Superman. That's cool, man. I'm kind of done with Macfarline. I really am. I'm probably going to not touch anything of his until after we see what Mattel is doing with DC. And, you know, even then I might not. Like I said, you've seen what I bought from Macfarlane. And again, it's just stuff I'm not sure DC's ever going to do. Atom Smasher, Monarch, stuff like that. There's some deep cuts there that I'm not sure if Mattel would touch it. But maybe they will. I don't know. But that will wrap up this video. I've gone over a bunch of Macfarlane stuff. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that bullshit.